Welcome to today's demo where we'll be talking about Salesforce Rebate Management as of the Summer 24 release. First and foremost, what is Rebate Management within the Salesforce ecosystem? So Rebate Management is a tool available within Manufacturing Cloud on the Salesforce platform that gives manufacturers the ability to implement incentive programs for their distributors to help drive an increase in revenue growth and or product volume. Rebate Management will also give the sales team the ability to track their distributors' progress towards goal attainment in real time, which in turn helps the sales team to better shape the conversations that they're having with their customers. So some of the capabilities within Rebate Management include incorporation of both internal sales data and external sales data if this data is not stored within Salesforce, but rather a separate ERP system. It allows teams to create specific programs for their distributors instead of applying a standard program to all distributors. Automates the rebate calculation process, which can reduce not only the time it takes to calculate accruals and payouts, but also reduces the risk of errors in the calculation process. Allows for collaboration with distributors via portal. So when configured, a distributor can log into said custom portal to see the status of their goal attainment, status of any payouts, and they can even upload their own transaction CSV if distributor sales are shared manually from the distributor to that manufacturer. And lastly, it analyzes the performance of not only the rebate program itself, but also the performance of the distributor within all programs, the performance of products across all programs, and provides insights on purchase behavior by the distributor using that information stored in Salesforce. So once Rebate Management has been added to your Salesforce org, there are several components that must be configured when setting up said program. We'll review these in our demo shortly, but for now, let's quickly discuss what needs to be set up. First, we have Program Features, which is a custom object that houses information related to the actual incentive program that will be implemented. By configuring your program via this object, you will have the ability to set the frequency of payout to the program members, the number of days after the payout period has ended before the calculation for said payout will be generated, the status of the program, as well as the start and end dates of the program. In addition to this data, Program Features is where all members who are a part of this program will be associated. And lastly, based on the payout frequency and payout calculation dates that you define, Salesforce will automatically generate the payout periods for you and will link these to the Program Features record. Next up in the configuration is the definition of the types of rebates that will be associated with a specific program. Rebate programs must have at least one rebate type, but can have multiple types associated. These rebate types include volume-based, revenue-based, growth-based, and flat rate rebates. For each rebate type that is configured in your program, you will have the ability to specify if the rebate type should apply to all revenue, all order quantities, and if certain products should be included or excluded from that calculation. This configuration is unique for each rebate type on your program, meaning you can have a volume-based rebate type that calculates the rebate payout based on the quantity of a specific product that is purchased by the program members, and a growth-based rebate type that calculates a rebate payout when the program member increases their sales by at least, say, 5% from the previous year. Calculation for both rebate types will then be added to a single rebate payout for your program member. Last but certainly not least, when configuring our program, we will want to set the benefit tiers. This is also a custom object that is related to the rebate types that were configured previously. Within this object, you will define the actual tiers of your rebate type by setting a minimum value range and, if applicable, a maximum value range. This value represents either revenue or quantity of the product sold, depending on how you configure your rebate type. Once our rebate program is configured and activated and we've begun generating payouts to our program members, the summary of said payouts will be captured directly on the program record itself. This gives sales the ability to see what the current rebate payout and or accrual is by rebate type, as well as by each specific payout period. Once that payout has been generated for a specific period, sales or your finance team can view the source transactions that were used to calculate that payout, which helps to ensure rebate calculations are being done correctly before the payment to the customer is issued. While it's great that our sales team can track the status of the rebate program on the actual program record, we know that sales typically will be working directly within their customer records and may need to see how that specific customer is doing within their rebate program. Embedded on the customer account record, sales will have the ability to now view all rebate types for their customer that their customer is currently a member of and how that rebate type is performing. In addition to the rebate type breakdown, sales can see what the current projected rebate payout will be for this customer. By putting this information directly on the account, sales can very quickly check on their customer's performance and make key selling decisions based on said performance. For example, if the sales rep is currently working on an opportunity with their customer and they see the customer is, say, $200 away from the next benefit tier, having access to this information can help the sales rep upsell the customer to hopefully hit that next tier and qualify for another rebate. Now, in today's environment, the desire to have information readily available at your fingertips has become increasingly more important as information is more easily accessible to us. With rebate management, not only can your sales team quickly check on rebate program statuses, but with rebate management, you can share this information directly with your customers via the partner portal. When a partner portal has been enabled within your org, you will have the ability to expose the rebate programs that customer is a member of directly to them. This will allow your customer to see what their current approved payout is, monitor their own progress within the rebate types, and for customers whose rebates depend on their point of sale transactions, they can upload these files directly to your portal, which saves back and forth via email. Salesforce also has automation available that can take these files and convert them into transactions within Salesforce for finance to review and ultimately include in your final rebate payout calculation. This reduces the time that your finance team will need to spend calculating rebates at the end of each payout period. Now, when it comes to automating the calculation of a rebate payout, we understand this can be very daunting to some teams, as oftentimes they want the ability to see the transactions that were included in the calculation to ensure that customers are not being paid incorrect amounts. To help instill more confidence in this calculation, Salesforce has also provided a custom app that allows users to see the transactions that make up a payout period by allowing them to select the program, specific rebate type, and specific rebate period they wish to check. If needed, this app can be further customized to expose any additional data needed to help drive confidence among the teams that the calculation is correct. Last, but certainly not least, Rebate Management comes with 2 out-of-the-box CRMA dashboards that can quickly be configured for your team. These dashboards are a business insight dashboard that will provide insights on the revenue and payout of each program, the performance of a specific rebate program in terms of revenue, quantity, and payout throughout a specified fiscal year, how specific rebate program members have contributed to the overall business in terms of revenue, rebates, quantity, revenue per quantity, and payout ratio, and how specific products associated with rebate programs have contributed to the overall business revenue. Lastly, we have the rebate incentives dashboard or account incentives dashboard, which can be embedded on an account page. This dashboard will show the program timeline to highlight the program's performance since go live, the status of all payouts that have been issued to date for this customer for their programs, the number of transactions made, number of products sold, and the payout to revenue ratio for this customer. And this dashboard will also show areas for potential opportunities for new business via a white space analysis. Now, let's jump into our demo. For this demo, we have Mountain Point, a distributor of a high-end mountain climbing gear who has recently noticed that their sales with distributor Peak Pursuits have been taking a bit of a tumble in the last 12 months. After having recently implemented rebate management within their Salesforce environment, the VP of Sales for Mountain Point has decided that now would be a great time to set up an incentive program with Peak Pursuits, not only to help drive growth and overall sales volume, but also to help increase sales in Mountain Point's newest product, the 4-slide harness. Here, we can see that the Peak Pursuit program will be active for the entire 2024 fiscal year, as well as 5 months into the next fiscal year. The VP of Sales has also decided that a monthly payout would be best for this distributor to help continue incentivizing them to increase their overall sales volume from month to month. Each payout will be calculated 5 days after the payout period has ended, and while this program does not depend on point of sales transactions from Peak Pursuit, there are 2 days of grace provided for uploading these transactions before the actual calculation occurs. Once the program details have been configured, we can then add members to our program via this members related list. For this program, we'll only have Peak Pursuit as a member. However, we can certainly add more customers if this program were more generic and not customer specific. Here we also see the Generate Payout Periods button in the upper right-hand corner. When a program record has first been created and the payout details have been provided, you can select this button to automatically generate the payout periods that we will now see captured here in Payout Periods. In this related list, we can see that a payout period has been generated for each month that the program is active. By clicking into these records, we can view the start and end date of a period and the date the payout will be calculated. Once the payout is generated, it will be visible here via the Related tab, which shows the date the calculation was generated and the total rebate amount for all rebate types associated with the rebate program. Once a rebate program total has been approved, the amount will show on the rebate payout period as well. Lastly, with rebate payouts, when we select the specific rebate payout record, we can gain a bit more insight into this specific payment, including the calculated rebate amount and the accrued amount if accruals has been set up for this program. Here, we see that accruals has been configured, and in April of 2024, $180 has been accrued, while the rebate payout for Peak Pursuits was $18,992. This was calculated via the revenue-based program type as well as the volume-based program type, as shown here. Now, let's see how to set up rebate types. So, from the original rebate program, we can see that Rebate Types related list captures all rebate types associated with this program. For a program to be active, you must have at least one rebate type configured, but you can have up to 10,000 rebate types configured. For Peak Pursuits, we only have 2 types configured at this time, one that focuses on the revenue of sales by Peak Pursuits and one that focuses on the volume of a product that's ordered. So let's first look at the revenue-based rebate type. Here you can see that for this rebate type, our payout will be a certain percentage of the revenue that is generated by Peak Pursuit once the total revenue for all orders placed this month falls within one of our benefit tiers. When configuring your rebate type, you can have a calculation method of steps, which proportions the benefit value based on the qualifying tiers, or retrospective, which applies the full benefit value to the total transaction value. We'll further explain this calculation in a bit, though. So when configuring the rebate types, we can also determine how we want to calculate the rebate payout for a transaction. We can either calculate the payout using an aggregate method, which will aggregate all transactions within the payout period. We can use a per transaction calculation, which processes the payout for each eligible transaction. We can specify a custom calculation method, or we can use a growth-based aggregation, which will aggregate all transactions for the current payout period and compare this with the total transactions for the same period from the previous year. For this program, we've decided to calculate the payout based on the aggregate of all transactions placed during each period. Once our rebate's configured, we then need to set the benefit tiers, which specifies what thresholds a customer must meet on their orders and the rebate that will be applied once that threshold is met. For the revenue-based rebate tier for Peak Pursuits, we've decided to pay out the rebate based on the total dollar value of all transactions placed during the payout period. Here we can see we have 3 thresholds configured. 1, the first will pay out 1% of the total transaction amount when the sum is between $1,000 and $5,000. The second threshold will pay out 3% of the total transaction amount when the sum is between $5,001 and $30,000. And the final threshold will pay out 5% of the total transaction amount when the sum is above $30,001. Now, if this were a stepped calculation instead of a retrospective calculation, how does Salesforce determine the payout for transactions that total, say, $36,000? Well, the first $30,000 of that transaction total would receive our 5% payout. The next $5,000 would receive a 3% payout of the $5,000, and the remaining $1,000 would receive a 1% payout of that $1,000. Lastly, let's look at our volume-based rebate program type. For this rebate type, we've decided to calculate the payout based on a percentage of total quantity of specific products placed on orders. As we can see here, our measure field is set to total quantity, and we've also indicated that we want to include products in this rebate type. Jumping over to the related tab, we can see that we are only focused on the quantities for the 4-slide harness, which is a new product for Mountain Point, who wants to increase their wallet share for this product in the marketplace. Now that we've seen how rebate programs are configured, let's look at our Peak Pursuit account and see how they're performing. Looking at this account, we can see that the rebate program types component displayed on the page over here on the right-hand side. This component shows us how Peak Pursuit is performing during this payout period for all programs that they are a member of. As you can see here, we are shown their goal toward attainment for each rebate type, the projected rebate total payout, and the projected payout by rebate type. So this projected rebate payout is overall for the entire year, whereas the rebate type projected payout here is just for this current payout period. As eligible orders are placed, the goal toward attainment will continue to increase, and we can see how far away our customer is from the next benefit tier if they have not quite reached it yet. Now that we have rebate programs set up on our account, let's take a look at the transactions that are going to be associated with the April 2024 payout check to ensure that the payout was calculated correctly. To do this, I'm going to select Check Rebate Calculations, which will prompt me to select my rebate program. Next, I'm going to select Peak Pursuits as the program member, even though they are the only ones associated with this program. And then I'm going to select April 2024 as my rebate payout period. Here, you can see that for April 2024 payout calculation, there were 11 transactions this month that were included in the revenue and volume-based rebate type calculations. Now again, this screen is customizable and additional data elements can be added as needed to best meet your company's needs. So now that rebates are up and running, we have payouts being generated. Let's take a quick peek at the analytics that is available for our VP of Sales. The first dashboard that we have here is the rebate program analysis. This dashboard allows our VP to slice and dice the performance of specific rebate programs and how their performance in the current fiscal year period compares to past data when available. That can be the same period in the previous year. It can be the previous month or the previous fiscal quarter, you name it. Here, we can see that for our Peak Pursuits program, we can view the overall revenue that is associated with this program, the total payout to date associated with this program, broken down by our rebate program types, performance of our revenue and payout period, and how payouts are trending by both revenue and by quantity. Hopping over to our next dashboard is the Business Insights dashboard. Our VP of Sales can see an overview of how all of our active rebate programs are performing and impacting the current revenue of the company. Similar to the rebates program analysis dashboard, here we can compare current year to date performance with either our previous year, same fiscal period previous year, or even the previous fiscal quarter for all of our programs, so long as the historical data is available. And that's it. With Rebate Management up and running, Mountain Point's VP of Sales has ensured that their sales team has what they need to continue driving sales with their distributor Peak Pursuits, and that they can offer incentivized programs to other strategic distributors to help drive sales and increase wallet share in their new 4-slide harness.